Good morning. Good morning to On the Couch. Welcome to On the Couch with me, Dr. Diamond, and Miss Rajanta, which I'll be bringing in shortly. We are here another wonderful Saturday morning. We're looking forward to our discussion with Anthony Royster. Last 2 weeks ago, he came on and we were talking about life insurance and the importance of it. So before we do that, let me bring in my fabulous co-host here. How you doing, Miss Rajanta?
Good
How's
morning.
everything going?
Good morning. It's going well. I can't complain. Another beautiful Saturday morning.
Yes,
Summer is short.
God woke us up, girl.
That's right.
Yes. And to Miss Sanella, I know you got other stuff going on today. So good morning to you. And
Morning.
a very special good morning to Miss Michelle, because Miss Michelle is going to have a little person coming into this world to join us in this world. So congratulations to her and her daughter and the rest of her family. So I wish them all the luck in the world for this new person that's coming into this world. I mean, hey,
Yes.
isn't it wonderful? New babies.
Yes. Yes. And they come out talking now. So, the new
All
cool
right.
kids. Walking and
These
talking.
kids, yes, girl, they different. They're nothing like how we are. These kids are so advanced now. I definitely technically inclined. This,
Yes.
yes, this world is made for them. Like, we just here.
Yes. Pushing us dinosaurs out the way. I'm like, you
Uh-huh.
know what?
Yeah, and the baby boomers, they pushing them out the way too. Because if you run into people all day that says this, listen, I don't know about that computer stuff.
I know. I'm guilty. Even in this day and age, I am guilty. I got to have my son help me with certain stuff. I can't even change the
Right.
clock in the car, but I'm a
Okay.
work
I
in
mean, it
progress.
just don't make any sense. And then the cars now, they getting more advanced too. So
Yes.
you have key fobs for your cars now. You don't even have to do nothing but touch a button.
I don't
I
like
mean,
it.
everything you got, you walk in your house. I have Alexa all over my
Yep.
house. So I don't have to say anything but say something to Alexa.
See?
Oh my goodness. Do you remember the Jetsons? Does anyone
Yes.
know? Okay, even the
Yes.
comments, meet George Jetson. You see how they were?
Yes.
Everything was electronically inclined. Everything.
And it was weird back then because it was like, what the heck? It was weird. But they had the watches, they had the TV, they had the robot, right? Rosie was the robot cleaner.
Rosie.
They had
Yep.
the food coming out the machine hot, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
now,
Now look at
30 years
this.
later,
And this
40
is
years
the
later.
world we're living in now. Microwave, right?
Yes.
Because that
Yes.
would be exactly what how they had the food. But see, their food dropped down and it was
Yes.
already on the plate.
I'm waiting for that day. I'm waiting for that day to come. I'm in. I
Me
hate to
too.
cook.
I am definitely waiting for that day. So I know we're waiting for Anthony to come
Yes.
on, but I think that discussion 2 weeks ago was very important, about life insurance. What did you learn from what he was saying?
Many things. I met that, I've been locked out. The system, I guess the gatekeepers. I've just been misinformed about a lot of things and the importance of a lot of things and how you can really profit and prosper from having good life insurance and even the different types of policies. Those are different things I never ever knew. Um,
Right, exactly.
I wish I would have known. So now I'm like second guessing myself, like, is it too late? Is it too late to kind of get this, information or to apply for these different benefits that they have? Because I'm getting older now, you know?
Yes, yes, exactly. And we're not promised tomorrow. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, especially our community. That's just
Mhm.
focus. That's our focus. This is who we reach every 2 weeks when we reach out and we're talking about our community and the benefits of understanding different things and bringing them vital content, and that's our goal here. So we too are learning as well that, what, life insurance is important and we have to have it even down to the babies. We
Absolutely.
can't just say, hey, you know what, they're babies, they're going to live forever. We
Mhm.
want them to live forever. We want to live
Mhm.
forever, but we know in reality, we're not going to live forever. None of us are promised tomorrow, but one thing we have to be sure of is to get life insurance. It's a
Absolutely.
hard discussion, and we know it. But it's something that we have to do and become more educated about it because I know I'm not fully educated about it. But then when he said, which shocked me too. He said, I don't like those other life insurance where you have these combination with auto
Yes.
home. And I said, wow, I learned something that day when he was saying
Hmm.
that. Like, you should have this as an individual package,
Yeah.
not a package that
The
combines
bundle,
your all.
right? We try to do the bundle package for discount as we try to do everything because we're just trying to get by,
Right,
and just to know that that's not the best thing.
right,
But how would
right.
we know? How
How will
would
we
we know?
know? Exactly. So my question to him today would be like, what, moving away from these bundles, what is the benefit or lack thereof benefit to having these bundles? Because it could be subjective for him where it's just his point of view of things. But
Yeah.
what if he's saying is correct? Could it be that you don't get your full coverage because you have a bundle? I don't
Mhm.
know. It's a good thing, well,
Yeah.
to have that conversation with him to
Yeah.
understand where's that coming from, why
Absolutely.
we wouldn't be, why wouldn't that be beneficial for us,
And to
so
just rethink, 'cause, I'm fortunate to have an employer where I get, I have a death benefit through my employer while I'm working there. But once
hmm.
I retire, what would that look like for me? I've been paying into this policy all this time. Once I retire, I guess it will be, done away with. So being that I'll be older now, like how would I go about getting the best coverage for myself and for my family moving forward?
Yes, exactly. Moving forward. So, you and I and Sanella and even Michelle, we talk mostly about what is the apprehensions in people,
Hmm.
when you're thinking about life insurance. So even when you were talking and you were asking him questions, did you feel your anxiety going up at all? Did you get so
Um,
nervous that you was like, oh man,
It's just a touchy subject for a lot of people. I feel it's a
yeah,
touchy subject for especially in our community because we don't like to talk about death, even though we're more prevalent because of different ailments that we have, such as high blood pressure and heart disease and all those other things, diabetes. So it's more prevalent, in our community because of just the different pre conceived notions you might have and ailments. So I'm definitely it's it makes me nervous, to be honest.
yes, because
It
you
makes me
said it a couple
nervous.
of times. So I
Yeah.
just wanted to kind of normalize that for everybody. If you are having anxiety about it, your reaction is normal because what you're looking at is your mortality. You're kind of questioning that, because although we know signing a piece of paper is not giving us a death sentence, it's not like we're going, okay, well, we're going to die tomorrow. But in your mind, you may be saying to yourself, maybe death is coming to me faster than I think.
Yes. Yes.
So I think that's what you were going through at that moment.
Yes.
And I know I have too, because
Yes.
you think about it. Because think about when someone dies in your age group.
Mm.
That's scary.
It is. It is. It is. And it definitely makes you rethink your life. Like, wow, like I just saw this person, or this person is my age.
Yeah.
So it feels like it's coming for you at the door. Like it's knocking at
Yes.
your door,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Yeah, because you get in your mind, you go, am I next? No, you're not
Yes.
necessarily next, but it's also telling us to prepare, because if we don't
Hmm.
prepare, we're gonna really feel sorry for not preparing as we should have,
Hmm.
because we are responsible for doing the right thing for ourselves and our families. Because if we don't, then we're gonna feel some kind of way. Um, Give me 1 second. I was looking at a response here.
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess I'm also eager to learn about the profitable, how we can profit off of life insurance too.
Yes. Yes.
How we can kind of get our piece of the pie while we're still here.
Mm-hmm.
I know, we're always looking for a come up. If I can profit off that, I think that we will all be kind of more inclined to really want to sign up
Yes.
different type of insurance benefits.
Yes, because even when he said that we are our own assets, that
Hmm.
is a great way to view ourselves. I don't think we ever viewed ourselves, because we quickly said a house, and he quickly said no.
Hmm.
You are your own asset, and I think that's what we have to change to, that
Yeah.
mindset that we are our own asset, and take that as good advice. Like,
Yeah.
yes, I can utilize that to benefit from different things in this world. There are our counterparts, if we speak frankly about white people in general, they know how to make money, pass money down, money that will last for generations,
Mm-hmm.
all of those things. And then yet we are still kind of still struggling with trying to
Absolutely.
match or get these dollars. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
here's, I'm gonna bring Anthony in now. So he's right there. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you all?
We are doing
Anthony.
well. We see you got a multitask today, but ain't nothing wrong with
Hey,
it.
I'm just trying to get to the money, however I gotta do
I know that's right. And we just
it.
talking about that, like how we need to come up with multiple ways of, having income because you gave us a lot of take home homework, really thinking about, the different terms, the term and universal, what that means, how we are our own asset. That's something we really didn't know because we were so quick to say our house is an asset when you said we are the asset.
Absolutely.
And then we wanted to understand, at least I know I had this question about the fact that you made a point that the bundling of going through these particular, like for example, if we look at auto, life, and house, you said no,
Mhm.
no, no, that's not something that I like or agree on. So I was
Yes.
wondering if you could tell us if that, what is the lack of that benefit having these bundles.
So for me, the lack of that is you have everything in one place, right? Auto insurance literally is just that to me. They their job is to insure your vehicle. You know what I mean? Because how much I'm trying to think of one. How much does most people life insurance policies do they have with their auto insurance companies?
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that question is, for somebody who's supposed to, oh, that's not gonna work. For somebody who's supposed to have, let's take my guy from the last example from the last time that we met, 2.8 million. Why would you put $2.8 million in coverage with State Farm?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And some of them they barely want to pay your auto claims.
That is very true. And I didn't think
so
about that. I didn't think about that.
so what exactly? So why would we want that? Why would we want somebody to have that much control? Now, somebody in my particular, just my field, who does life insurance, you have $2.8 million with me. You've had it for 3 or 4 years. Someone unfortunately passes away. It's no question. We're writing the check.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like, remember that phase, that 2 year clause,
Mm-hmm.
the contestability clause, that's over and done with after a while, after 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason for any insurance company to question anything at this point.
Gotcha.
You
Now,
know,
what
go ahead.
what could one do? Okay. What can one do if something happens prior to that 2 year? What can we do to kind of get around that too? Because tomorrow's not promised. Life is unpredictable.
Hmm.
I had a coworker just pass away unexpectedly from a boat accident, and he was 52 years old. So you never know. He was on vacation. So what can someone do to kind of fight for that type of coverage if, in fact, it's before the 2 year and they lose a loved one?
The only way around that is to die naturally.
Oh.
And what
Okay.
I mean by natural, it can be number one. Once the application is complete, or during the application, rather, you have to be upfront with the insurance company, because remember, if you do an insurance thing, and ladies, please forgive me, viewers, please forgive me. I am driving, I'm multitasking, so if you see me looking back and forth, I'm doing what I do, but I got you. But if you remember the application itself, the you have to be extremely honest. You have to be
Mhm.
upfront with
Mhm.
the whoever the insurance agent is and the insurance company, because if you list or if you say something that's not honest, and you die because of that cause, you are now in violation of the
Gotcha.
contestability, clause. Now, for somebody who says, "Hey, I've been diagnosed with, diabetes, or I've had breast cancer, or whatever type of cancer, or COPD, or I've had TIA in the past, 2 5 years." If you mention that on the application, and the insurance company still chooses to approve it, that's on the insurance company if you die as a result of that particular disease. Because the insurance company chose to take that risk. So
Gotcha.
that's the fight that I have with them. If they say, "Oh, well, they passed away of COPD." Okay, and you approved it. We put it on the application.
What if
You,
it's a
you
car
see,
accident or something? Is that something
car
totally different?
accident, car accidents are extremely different
Okay.
because some insurances now, a good come up on that too, is accidental death and dismemberment.
Hmm.
So
Mm.
you can do life insurance, but then you can add what's called a rider of accidental death and dismemberment. So God forbid, let's take the Boulevard in Philadelphia for instance. Somebody is dropped, or 95 rather. There's accidents every day on 95. Um, Someone applies for life insurance and they have the accidental death and dismemberment. Now, we're not expecting you to
Mm-hmm.
get into a catastrophic accident. But again, accidents happen. So if you so happen to have written a life insurance policy, 2 months ago, it's been approved, and God forbid you're on the road and someone spins you off and you
Mm-hmm.
die as a result of the accident, the insurance company will deem that as essentially, natural causes. I mean, it was an accident.
Oh, okay. So
And
that would be
so
considered
they
natural.
Yes, so that will and most people know natural causes like they may die in their sleep or of old age or what have you. Yes, that falls under natural causes, but accidents also can do the same because you didn't like commit suicide, you wasn't involved in any type of like illegal activity unless
Mm-hmm.
you was out like street racing. And then if the autopsy comes as a result of that, then
Oh,
you might
wow.
fall under the lines of that contestability clause.
Is homicide
Um,
natural too, or no?
how much, depending on how the homicide has taken place. Like if you were like in the street and you were hit by a stray bullet, yes. But if you were probably involved in some type of gang war,
Mm-hmm.
you may fall victim of the contestability.
Gotcha. Wow.
Uh,
Mm.
Now, accidental death and dismemberment, um, which is also known as ADD, or AD&D, excuse me, um, you can get additional coverage due to accidental death. So if you have, for instance, let's take the guy, the 2.8 million, and he has, I think they usually have a max on it, but just for the sake of conversation, it's 300,000 accidental death. He would then get that 2.8 million plus that $300,000 on top of it.
Oh, okay. So this is
Mm.
how people are coming up because that's a big come up.
It's a huge come up. Now, let's take all of this. Let's take the gang warring, the illegal activity. Let's take whatever the felons. If they have life insurance and they've surpassed the 2 year contestability period,
Mm-hmm.
then no matter what the incident is, the insurance company can't fight it
Wow. Okay. Okay.
because their window has shut. Now,
Mm-hmm.
even if and I'm about 99.9% certain on this, even if you misrepresented um on the application and it's been years later, uh I'm almost certain they're going to pay that too. And the reason being is because in that period, you have not succumbed to that disease and the time
Mm-hmm.
frame, and they can't prove, well,
Mm-hmm.
technically, unless they go by way of the was known as the MIB, the Medical Information Bureau, they can, if they're this savvy enough, to go way back and see that you may have been diagnosed prior to
Mm-hmm.
the application. But if they don't go that far, even still, they may pay that out because without the MIB or information, they won't know when you were diagnosed with
Mm-hmm.
said disease.
Gotcha. Does
So
it depend on how big the policy is as to whether or not they would go and try to find the MIB? Because I mean, a
yes
little
and
size of
no.
policy, they're not going to really try to.
Yeah, yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, because you also gotta take into consideration the loss on the insurance company at this point, right? So when anyone applies for any type of insurance, you are now putting the risk on the insurance company. So the contractual agreement is, hey, I'm going to give you X amount of money per month that in the
Mm-hmm.
event something happens to me, you're going to pay out said bulk amount. You're
Gotcha.
you're you're transferring that risk over. Now this like $10,000, $5,000, they honestly might not, you know, contest that. They really might just pay that off. But if you dealing with somebody like this 2.8 million, it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be all kinds of odds on this thing. Because
Hmm.
the question is, man, especially if it's in between, or yeah, in between the 2 years before we pay out this 2.8, we want to make sure all the ducks was in a row.
Mm.
You know what I
Mm.
Okay.
mean? So they may ask for, if not conduct their own autopsy report, medical
Gotcha.
information, what he was involved in, if he was a felon in jail, all that kind of stuff. And if all things checks out, they will honor their portion of the agreement of the contract.
Hmm.
Wow. So I have a question. So now it's about choosing. How do you choose between the universal life, which I guess is considered to be also a whole life, and then also you have term. So how do we go about choosing the right things for ourselves? And then I guess we have to look at budget, but I would like to understand that perspective from you. How?
Yes. So it all depends on the client, right? So again, remember, it's two types of policies. You have term, you have whole life. With whole life comes with universal whole life, index whole life, variable whole life. You have multiple streams of whole life policies. But it all depends on the client and what the client is looking to do. Like for instance, if they want to do like a variable
Mm-hmm.
whole life policy, variable whole life policy. Number one, your agent has to be they have to have their series license. So 636, 7 or 763, something like that. I am not versed in that particular field because I chose not to be licensed there, because those particular agents who have their Series 6 and 63 and things of that nature, they can be audited at any given moment in time by the state.
Hmm.
So I chose not to go that route. While I also can be audited, and if they did, my folders are in line. But with variables, they have to do what's in the best interest of the client. While law agents should, they are legally bound, like
Mm-hmm.
by their series. So if they're looking to grow like within the market, like they're trying, this is a form of investment for them.
Mm-hmm.
So they can get like on the back end the dividends that the variable whole life policies will get. But likewise, should anything happen to them, their family members will get the life insurance policy plus the gains on that particular policy. And the variable policies, um, they are in sync with whatever the market is today. Now, some of them they usually have a baseline where, like, if the market tanks, you won't go under whatever that said
Oh wow.
baseline is
Mm-hmm.
with the insurance company. Again, I can't speak too much on that because I'm not licensed in that, but this is just a little bit of the information that I do know about variable policies.
Hmm.
Then you have what's called like fixed whole life policies. These ones that I can do, um, and these grow with these is regular whole life policies, but these grow with the market too, depending on how aggressive you're looking to be. If you're looking to do it for retirement, if your children are going to school, or if you're planning for a wedding, down the line, this is usually
Wow.
the way to do that.
I can't believe
Um,
that.
Me
yeah,
too. I
yeah,
never heard of
And I don't know whether it be a
variable.
stat. I don't know whether
I
it be a
never heard of,
stat or what. And I
yeah,
be
I
wondering,
never
like,
heard
where
of
these people get
stick
this money
hole.
from? Where do you get this money to
Yeah.
buy these Harley Davidsons and to buy these big boats and the
yeah,
vacation?
and
Hello.
it's easy because
Mm,
now what a lot of people try to do, for those who are versed in these particular policies, like if their agent has been keeping them abreast, the one thing, like if you're doing college planning for a young child, right, newborn, and you say, hey, I want to put a policy on him, which you can, but I want it to grow with the child. You might not have as much money by the time they get ready to go to college, because they are still fairly new, like, to the world. They're
mm-hmm.
young, so their demise is not as high up on the mortality table, as yours and our minds is. We're a lot, you and I, and I'm just going to throw it out there. All of us are a lot closer to death, typically, than a newborn baby.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easier, and my professional suggestion, that if you're going to plan for college, to put the policy on you, because you have to put more money into the policy, which means if you're putting more money into the policy is going to grow exponentially. So
Okay.
by the time your child gets ready to go to college, they might not even need loans.
Wow. So the more
And
you put
then,
in your policies, the more you get out.
that is correct.
Gotcha.
That is
Hmm.
absolutely correct.
Okay.
Y'all know better than me. Why y'all got me on here?
No, we no, we could listen. This is my first time hearing about these other two policies under whole policies, the whole life. I've never heard any agent and I haven't worked with a lot, ever mention those policies, no, those particular ones.
Mm,
So it's good that we are talking to you today, because I'm telling you, this is,
Mm-hmm.
you get educated every single day
Absolutely.
to understand that you have policies that sync with the market, and what does that look like, and how you'll be able to make money. So this is good, and so I appreciate it. The
and
term
safe.
life, and
Yeah.
safe, right?
Yeah, very safe.
So when you're looking at term life, how is that different? And could we benefit from term life at all, or not at all?
Yes, you can benefit from all of them. So again, it's all situational to the client, even when budget is involved. So
Mm-hmm.
term insurance is one of my favorite ones, because it's one of those policies where you can bulk up for a little bit of money. Like,
Mm.
Right.
you can really, like, rock out and hang with the big dogs on a term policy.
Oh
Like, yeah,
wow.
I got eight, and there is a cap with insurance, because there's a thing with being over insured. Like, the insurance companies can stop that, because then it's like, if you're trying to become over insured, then you might be trying to become a risk and things of that nature. But yes, with term insurance, you can bulk up for what, maybe a third of
Mm.
what you would pay in whole life, if that, maybe more than that. Um,
And by
so if
bulk
you
up, you mean that we can borrow from that policy from term?
no, like, you can get a lot of face amount. So remember, this 2.8 million is only costing my client 50 something odd dollars.
Mm.
Where
That's
if
what
you
I'm
take
looking
this
for.
same 2.8 million and put it in
Mm-hmm.
whole life, he's going to spend a
Mm-hmm.
whole hell of a lot more money.
Okay.
Exactly. So
Now,
I caught that the last time you were talking, like currently, I also have a term life. However, the company that I'm with, I understand, trying to reevaluate things yearly, but
Mhm.
it's something that, how did I go about, how did they even come into my life? I think it might have been through my credit union, whatever the case may be, but
Me
they're
too.
pretty annoying. You know who I'm talking about, right? This
Mm-hmm.
one is very annoying because they want your spouse to be there. If your spouse is
Oh,
not there,
the
where's your
financial
spouse
service
at? Yeah,
representatives. That's
I
what
don't
they're
like
called
that.
in the banks.
And they
Yep.
keep calling and calling. And now I've had a different type of policy where you get it done and then they don't bother you. They'll send you stuff in the mail and say, hey, you know what, if you want to, you have this obligation to do this. But to call me and doing these cold calls and let's set up because you want to add more or trying to get more money out of me, I don't like stuff like that. I'd rather work
Mhm.
with someone who is going to say, this is what your term life will get you, like you're doing right now. This is what you will do. As your agent, I am obligated to let you know A, B, and C, but you're not going to be pressuring me and calling me, or I can't talk to you without your spouse. I don't like that.
Mhm. I think that is a matter of fact. Let me speak to both of those types of people. I personally, I don't like them because
Okay.
one is either too pushy and one is not pushing enough. So there's a happy median. So this is one of the reasons why I chose to go on my own. Let me be very clear, and this may sound ignorant, and I'm okay with that because this is why I chose to start my own firm. I cannot want life insurance more than you,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to pressure you to get life insurance. I'm going to tell you the perplexities of not having it. Um, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be just straight honest with you. If you wait too late, I'm going to be honest with you. If you do have it and you haven't had a review, uh, only because as passionate as I am about us having life insurance,
Mm-hmm.
you have to want to know and want it for yourself as well. Now, I can
Mhm.
be as enthusiastic as I am right now, just talking to you ladies and the viewers about it. But when we have that one on one, and I'm sitting here and I'm trying to tell you, once you give me all of the information that I need, and then I tell you where we should be, because that's how I do it. I'm gonna tell you where we should be and what you should have. Then we bring budget into the conversation. What can you afford?
Okay.
Mhm. Okay.
Because see, what happens here is, and I'm gonna take this same example with the fifth, like $58 for 2.8 million. If $58 is going to hurt your living, your daily expenses, damn it, don't spend $58 on insurance. Why? Because insurance is going to be the first thing that you cancel.
Right.
They do it all the time. They do it all the
Wow.
time.
You're
That is
The
right.
very
first time
true.
insurance
You are
comes out,
right.
Yeah.
the
Because we don't
first
look at it
time
like a regular bill. It's not like a bill like a utility
exactly.
bill or
That is
like,
exactly right.
it's
That
not a
is
car note.
Mhm.
It's
exactly right.
something.
And the
Mhm.
minute that thing catch somebody off guard, that one month they wake up when they get paid, thinking that they about to go down to the bar or buy some
Live
Jordans
their
or what
life.
have you, and that
Mm-hmm.
money is gone. The first thing
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna say, "Well, I ain't dying tomorrow. I'm gonna stop the policy."
Mm.
And
That
then
is
I
so
get
And
the
God
phone
forbid
call.
something happen.
There you go.
that's true. But you know what? I get it. I get what they're
I do
saying.
too.
Cause it's like, all right, it's just, I mean, what should I say to my current agent? So I've had a policy. I have a policy for
Yeah.
my mom
Me
that I had to
too.
take over,
Mhm.
and I had a policy for my family. And let me tell you, the first person who introduced me to life insurance was my sister. She had policies
Okay.
on her kids. Okay. And I
Mm-hmm.
took over the policy because of my mom. So she got one for my mom. I ended up taking over the policy. She's the first person. And I'm like, and I was looking at her like crazy. Like, you trying to wish death on my nephews and my niece? You know? But now I understand the importance of it now as I got older. So, what's the first conversation I should be having with my insurance agency about my current policy?
that you about to come over to I'm covered life insurance agent.
But that would have that too, that right there.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But in the meantime, because we've had the policy for at least 2 years, so
mhm.
what should I be doing? What should I say? Or
So first things first. When was the last time you had a review?
actually, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't feel like being bothered with those people. I don't
Yep.
have the time to sit down and have the conversation and stop calling me. I'm paying every month. That's I didn't know.
Yes.
Then my
Yes.
professional advice to you is to leave.
Okay.
Because see, what's happening here is this is two things that are in play that you just introduced. Number one, you haven't had a review, and God knows how long. And number two, you don't even want to be bothered. So, which
I know.
means on the back end, if you do mention that you want to have a review, the agent is then going to find something to sell you.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So now it becomes more of a check than a checkup.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So where the last podcast, I offered free reviews for everybody who
Mm-hmm.
mentioned Dr. Diamond. And I'll
I
Mm-hmm.
still
know.
hold true to that. But see, here's the thing. You can't review something that you don't know or remember.
Yes.
Like right now, generally speaking, to you and the viewers, where's your policy documents at?
You're
Well,
right.
I know I have mine. I do have mine. I keep it in a
Some
folder.
do,
You do?
some
Uh-huh.
do,
Listen,
I
I
do.
just
some
tell everyone
Uh-huh.
do.
they deduct money out my account.
I keep it.
I
I
know I
have
got
it.
it.
But yes, some like just like that, the money comes out. Now here's because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm my own agent, and I don't have those documents. Why? I mean, they're electronic. I can definitely access it, but I don't need to go to it because I know what I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you call your agent right now off the top of his head, his or her head, and you give them your name, be like, hey, do you remember how much money you wrote on me? Do you remember
Mhm.
the last time? Do they even remember you? Maybe not,
Probably not.
maybe not so much the money, but do they remember you?
The
Mm.
person. Right.
I am in contact with all of my clients daily. I don't even be wanting nothing. I just send them a card, yo, just thinking about you. Merry Christmas, Happy New
See,
Year,
I
Happy
like that.
birthday.
I
You know
like
what I mean?
that.
Just
So we
I
should
don't
be
want nothing from you.
we should be in touch with them as we are with our doctors, sort of like that type of relationship.
Absolutely.
Okay.
They are the doctors of your life insurance policy. Think
Okay.
about it.
Mm.
I didn't know. Mhm.
If you did a life insurance policy for somebody that's making 40, 50, $60,000 a year, right? And then you done went and got yourself promoted. Now you're making $90,000 a year. You done moved from your apartment to a home.
Mhm.
Your new salary and your new house is not properly insured.
Mm. Okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Now,
Mm.
Dr. Diamond, I don't know when you did your policy, right? But if you did your policy at the time frame when you were either, young, getting your bachelor's or your master's, and you have not done a review since you received your doctorate, you are underinsured.
Wow.
Mm.
If
Mm.
you have not done a policy or a review prior to getting married, you are underinsured. If
Mm-hmm.
you have children and you have not done a review or have a policy, you are underinsured. If you have not spoken to your agent literally in the last year since the pandemic, you are more than likely underinsured.
Especially with the pandemic. I mean, I
Oh
think
boy,
what that
yes.
probably should have done is kind of wake a lot of people up because people were dropping like
Yes.
flies. Were they in?
Uh-huh.
So how did that
Let me
kind of work out with the pandemic? People dropping
I
like
was
flies
just
and
getting ready to say, let me share this with you. The pandemic made, at least for me, I don't know about all other insurance agents, but if they shared my same sentiment, the pandemic for me was nerve wracking.
I'm sure.
Why?
Mm.
Because I thought that so many people, due to COVID, would not get insured.
Mm.
I literally wrote 65%
Wow.
more policies during the pandemic than I had.
Wow.
They were, they were approving people left and right. I couldn't believe it.
Really?
I could not believe it. Unbeknownst to me, I was sending in, and I'm going to be honest, I was stereotyping a lot of people. And I'm like, you know what? This don't look like it's going to work. I don't think this is going to happen. And I mean, they were coming back fast.
Wow.
Approvals, left and right. My business is where I'm at now because of the pandemic.
Wow.
I took a year off of work and didn't lose money.
So with that being said, with everybody being insured during the pandemic, and because they didn't reach that 2-year mark, would the COVID be kind of known as a natural cause, or?
Nope, it was not a cause at all.
So it was a natural.
Well, I
natural
mean,
cause.
yes, yep.
Wow.
Because that's not something that they could control.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
There was COVID just came out of nowhere, right? The first time we heard about it, it was in China. A day later, it was like in Sacramento somewhere, or Utah. And the next thing you know, it was on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And in March of 2019, everybody was shut down. Or 2019, 2020, was it? The world was shut down.
So it would have been easier to get a policy during COVID, you're saying?
It was way easier to get a policy during COVID.
See, I wish I had you then, because I done missed out on my money.
And one of the great times to get policies.
Wow.
But I mean, it still is. Like, again, if you recall, if you are still breathing and still alive, it is not too late. And I have companies that specialize in pre-existing conditions. I have one of them now blowing my email up like, hey, we need you to do X, Y, and Z. They send it to me. I forgot. Not going to lie. Human, it happens. Then they sent me another email. Hey, man, we need you to do X, Y, and Z because I have a lady who has COPD.
Okay.
And you ready for this? The same company initially that I applied for her for declined her is now through this company that specializes in pre-existing conditions is willing to approve her.
Wow. Okay. Because I'm wondering, what are some common pre-existing conditions you find with people in our community that like really kind of stop people from getting insurance?
The ones that are documented, cancer, stroke. Yeah, cancer is the biggest one. Literally any and all forms of them. Cancer, strokes, diabetes.
Okay.
I think usually those are about like
What
the
about
top
the what about the the diabetes before the diabetes? What is it called? Pre-diabetic? What about the
Pre-diabetic.
sugar before? So pre-diabetic too?
A lot of people are pre-diabetic because of like blood pressure and things of that nature. But pre-diabetic does not count for the disease.
Gotcha. So you got to catch it before it gets to that stage.
That means you need to get yourself together before you cross over into the diabetes line.
Get yourself together and get a policy real fast.
Yeah. 100%.
Now, I want to go to the hard place that we need to go to, and that's talking about our community and possibly what does that look like statistically, that those are Black and brown people are actually coming and getting insurance from you, or just overall. What does that look like for us? Because we want to change that if it's not good.
Now, maybe I'm not. What do you mean by your question, if you don't mind me? If you can elaborate
Okay,
a little
so
bit.
how many of us actually go and get life insurance? When you look at the percentage in comparison to white people and Black and brown in our Black and brown community, do we have less numbers getting life insurance in comparison?
We did. We're doing a lot better.
Okay. Good.
So we are now at 54%. 54% of African
Okay.
Americans obtaining life insurance. Um, but that's still not close to what like our Caucasian counterparts are because they're
Mm-hmm.
close to the 70s.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Why do you think
this
that
is
is?
because they learn about this at a young age.
There it is.
A lot of things when it comes to life insurance, it's learned, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
let's take everything else. Racism, that's learned at a young age. If you put a young
Yes.
black kid and a young white kid together, they two children getting ready to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things start at home with the parents.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of them, they teach that to them. They have life insurance on their children before they're 18.
Wow. Yeah.
Maybe up the policy when they get ready to go to college. And then
Wow.
and,
Right.
and some of them even put insurance policies on them so when they get ready to go to college, they don't have as much debt.
Wow. I did not. Yeah.
Right. So this is what we are lacking usually is the education that's really was not always afforded to us too.
Mm-hmm.
We always
That's
have to
correct.
do things separately. And this is the truth because this is how society, actually view us like we're not supposed to get the same things when it comes to even basic information, which will make us equal on equal standing. If I know the same information a white person knows, then yes, I'm going to educate myself, my children, and then be prepared. But we can't be
Absolutely.
prepared if we're not getting the information.
Yes.
Correct. Give me 1 second, ladies. One moment.
Yeah,
That's
sure, no problem.
really something that I just think about in all aspects of my life. Not knowing things until not until it's too late, but just really I could have been ahead of the game. Much
Yes,
further. I know the importance of things now, but I wish I would have known these things years ago because I think that life would have been easier for me, and I would have been able to get ahead further sooner than later.
yes,
You know.
yes. And where I understood what you were saying when you was like, is it too late? So, I'm 51 now, right?
Hmm.
So I do want to get a better policy. From what I'm hearing, what you said, Anthony, about what we need to do and how that looks so differently. Yes, it makes me look at it now from a different point of view. And
Hmm.
also to say, yeah, I can get the 2.5 million for 50 something dollars, but I'm going to make sure that's incorporated in my bills, that I know that this is what I'm going to do. Then I've always believed that children should be insured because I do and have not only my son insured but his daughter as well. So that's what we're
Hmm.
supposed to do because no one is promised that. But how I began to learn that is because you hear other experiences in or out of your family. You also see these GoFundMe's. If that means to me there's some lack of information there, or you're just getting GoFundMe because you just want money, I don't know. I don't know what the motive is behind it. But if you are raising money for a funeral, it tells me something that some portion of us still don't know. I'm
Yes.
just saying.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, and I want you all, and again, this may sound rude, but this is one of the reasons why I've started my own firm. My firm does not donate to fish fries and GoFundMe. Does not happen. Why? Because we literally talk to you and educate you about life insurance. So now you want me to give you $20 when you could have been paying $20 and got 2 million or a million
Mm,
or what have you. You see what I'm
wow.
saying? And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this is not. Please don't take this as, oh, I'm being mean. But I have a rule behind that. My job is to educate all of you or whomever is willing to listen about insurance because it is most common in the African American community to host GoFundMe's and
Yes.
fish fry. Do you know you have to pay taxes on a GoFundMe?
I didn't know that.
You don't even, and what I mean by taxes is it's a fee. So even if you
Mm,
raise the money, you're going to lose some of it to GoFundMe because they're going to take their portion off the top.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So for all that money you all think you're getting from GoFundMe, other people then have to give more money to account for the fee that GoFundMe is going to take out. Where your life insurance policy, here it is fee less, other than the monthly payments.
Wow.
Wow.
And it's almost no comparison. If you can spend $200 on jeans and sneakers, I paid $2,400 for my phone.
What type of phone is that?
That's 14 Pro Max.
Mm.
Apple gonna owe me some advertisement, some marketing money. But if I can spend that kind of money on a, do you know that's at least
Mm-hmm.
3, 4, 5 years worth of
Wow.
yearly premiums?
Mm. No, that's true because there's $1,000 phones that people are getting for their children. So that is a very, very good point.
Exactly.
Yeah. The
Wow.
shift of values, so now we're getting
Mm.
into where I wanted to go is that there's a shift in value of life and merchandise. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of saying, you know what, I do need to shift these dollars over to what's really important is that I don't want to leave my family in debt. So I need to buckle down and do the right thing and get the life
Mm-hmm.
insurance for me. And even if you can't afford it for other members of your family, no problem. Just make sure you are covered. So
Yeah.
in the event something happens to you, that there is some money left over that you can get. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, even with the gentleman with the 2.5 million, we know that his whole funeral is not going to cost that. But the thing is, there's something left behind instead of just having absolutely nothing. And
Yep.
to be honest, that's what I worry about all the time. I'm like, I don't want to leave my son in debt or my granddaughter in debt. I don't want to do that. Even my husband either. So if I can come into you and say, hey, you know what? I do want to get that policy you were talking about because I see bigger and better for myself and for my family. So I need us to
Mm-hmm.
start thinking differently and shift that way of thinking. Because
Yes.
yes, you're right. We will spend a $2,000-3,000 on a pair of shoes, but
Mm.
won't pay it life insurance. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
And
And I
Insane.
the
think I think that we don't know. I think that really, if the community was more informed, I think that people just don't know the
yeah,
priorities
yeah.
as well. But I don't think people really are informed the way we should
Mm-hmm.
be with different issues like this. This is a huge,
I
huge issue.
100% agree. I 100% agree. Uh, and because it's another reason why I 100% agree is because, and I think this is safe to say about our community, we are an instant gratification type of people.
Hmm.
Whatever we're getting or whatever we're doing, we have to see results behind it immediately.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
so we can spend, this kind of thousands of dollars on a cell phone because I could talk to you right now and use it while working elsewhere, driving up and down the road. I'm gonna spend $200 on some
Hmm.
sneakers. Why? Because I'm going to wear them today and people are going to see that, oh, I spent money. People are
Yes.
spending money on Ferragamo and Gucci belts. Why? Because they can show it off, but they
Mm.
won't spend $20 on a life insurance policy because who gonna go to the club talk about something? I got $1 million policy. Like who's going to say that? You know what I mean? But
No one. No one.
but see,
Wow.
if we
Mm.
stop looking at life insurance as a bill rather than an investment,
Hmm.
it hits different. I know
Yeah.
every month, and I'll share this with you. I know every month $87 is coming out of my account. I have two different
Hmm.
policies. I know
Hmm.
it's coming.
Yeah.
In
I mean, I
fact,
still don't
I
like it.
prepare for it. Not at all. At all. And I'll be honest with you. I'm honest with you on that one. I don't like it. But I know as of right now, if I was to die today or tomorrow, all of my debt is paid. My funeral expenses are paid. There is nothing left of me but memories and money.
That's what I want. That's exactly what I want. Just what you just said.
Memories and money.
Memory and
Okay.
money, because at least I know. folks is taken care of, and I did it the
That's
right
right.
way.
No
Yep.
fish fry, and that's a nice
Houses
repast.
is paid off,
Mm-hmm.
cars are
Okay.
paid off, bills is, and even right, because one of the things I don't know if I hit this the last time we met, but when I do financial analysis, excuse the sun, when I do financial analysis, my objective, as I said here, is to pay off all debt. So houses included. But let's take those who are in an apartment that might not have been ready to move yet. Now I'm paying your apartment for at least 10 years.
Mm.
Can you
So you're giving
can
them
you
the down
imagine
payment for
just
their
dropping
house.
the whole check? Now if you choose not to move, you can stay in your apartment where you are for the next 10 years and not have rent to the 11th.
Mm.
Or you can take that same check and either go pay off a house or put money down on a house. And then with
Wow.
that same money that I got you, I'm gonna show you how to put that into an account so you can get monthly stipends
Wow.
and allow it to grow. There's
What is
all kinds of ways to
wow?
do that.
Now, what's
So
your
that's
contact information again? Your contact information again for those of us who weren't here last week.
yep. So phone number is 267-323-9632. Again, two six
Mm-hmm.
seven 323-9632. And my email is a royster, R-O-Y, that's AROYSTER at AMRI'mcovered.com.
Gotcha. I appreciate that. And I see that you're also a Q, so that's very trustworthy. Uh,
Yeah.
yes,
Are
yes.
you, are you?
You and Ricky Smiley. Yes, yes.
Yeah. It's my dog. Ricky, good dude. I don't know him personally. I wish I would. Wish I did. But yeah, good guy. Good guy.
This
But
was
yeah,
very
That's
good
that's
right.
information.
Well, this
Very
that's
is
good.
it.
good.
Life.
And once again, we are definitely informed. Once again, and we listen. I know you got before we do your takeaway because I know you're gonna give us something rich to take away. Um, I appreciate the information. I really do, and it gives me a different sense of viewing life insurance. And can I tell you, I am most gracious or grateful to you for the fact that you came on to give us the information that we lack of for those people that were telling us about these policies and not giving us the right information. You told us
Hmm.
the truth. So I appreciate it. And now I know what my move is going to be. I'm
That's
just
right.
saying.
That's right. I appreciate that. Now, the best
I
time to
like it.
contact you is what? Is it mornings, afternoons, evenings, weekends?
Um, honestly, I would say, honestly, anytime. To be honest, as long as I'm not asleep, if I hear my phone ring, I'm going to answer it. Um, but if you want to stick within normal business hours, 9 to 7 is cool. 9
Great.
to 8 is fine. But honestly, if something is usually I'm up late anyway because I'm always thinking and moving and trying to plan.
Hmm.
So if something is on your heart and it's bothering you, and I'm up at 11:30, and you're like, I just gotta ask. I mean, it don't hurt the call. So if I'm up, I'll answer, and answer and whatever question that you have, because I'm serious about this insurance thing
I
here,
appreciate that.
and for somebody who's been bothered and serious enough to ask, I'm serious enough to give you the time that you deserve.
I appreciate that.
We
You know.
appreciate that. We really do. So yeah, we thank you once again for coming on here. I'm hoping that we can do this. Let's say we'll book you for the new year because I think if you hear new things in your new year, you can start with new advice and new found
Absolutely.
knowledge. So I think we will have you definitely back, and I know we'll have you back in January sometime to
Mhm.
bring this same information back again because it's about looking at your life in a new way, right? Instead of just
Yes.
always, well, I'm going to lose weight. How about get a life insurance?
Yeah.
Because you
It
set
might
these
hurt. It might help you.
resolutions, set a new
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
this will
and
be a
let me
new
share
one.
with you. let me share with you, Dr. Diamond. Not even to cut you off, but you mentioned something that I think all people should know. There are usually 2 times of the year where it's most easiest to get insurance, and
Okay.
is oddly enough, it's in June
Okay.
and December.
Okay.
Wow.
Have no idea
Look
why.
at that.
Have no idea why, but for some reason, policies move the fastest and almost a little bit more leniency in June and December, like December going into January. But for certain, June and December,
Wow.
which is weird because Life Insurance Awareness Month is in September.
Really? So we were ahead of
Yeah,
the game anyway.
we
So
already ahead
September.
of the
So
game. Yep.
yes, so definitely you will be back, and we're going to talk about this and advertise more about you coming on so we can have this deep conversation again, and then getting those more policies in place. And I'm going to only say for myself, I can't speak for anyone else, but at some point I'll be meeting with you as well. So now I know what to do. Now I know how to make a move and do what I need to do. And again, I'm much appreciated. Really.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Absolutely.
ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
So now, everyone, we come to the end of our show. I hope you all got some good information from us. We always are looking to give you good, valuable content for the Black and Brown community. And those that are not Black and Brown, you are welcome to join us as well, because you get to hear about, what we care about. So, go to your favorite platform, or actually your Google Comcast. You can go to Anchor. You can go to Spotify and find us there, iHeartRadio. When you want to catch us live, we're on YouTube and Facebook. So, follow us, and then, meet us up with us every 2 weeks. And, before we part, I hope you all were able to get some valuable information from being on the couch with us. Miss Rajanta, anything you have to say before we get out of here for the day?
Yes, thank you so much, Mr. Royster. As always, I've learned a lot. I just want to say how important knowledge is. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So thank you so much for all the information that you bestowed upon us.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You're very welcome.
And before you leave, is there anything you would like to say to those that are listening and following us, or even watching us today?
Yeah, first off, thank you all for inviting me on and having me. I do hope something was said, that stuck out to you. Hopefully, it blessed your life. Please give me a call if you have any questions about anything. And honestly, the one thing that I want all of you to know is if you are alive, you still have an opportunity to get insurance if you already don't have it. If you do have it, get a review. Know what's going on with your policy. Your agent needs to be the doctor of your policy, and if you are willing to pay them on a monthly basis, then they should be working for you on a monthly basis, and you
Mm-hmm.
should know what's going on with your policy at all times. If you don't know who your agent is, or what type of policy that you have, again, give me a call. For all of you listening, mention Dr. Diamond's name, mention a podcast. You have a free, you'll get a free consultation. But if you do sign up with Covered Life Insurance, we will also waive the security deposit for you. So
Great.
thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I want to thank all my followers and the listeners that are following us, and those that are really dedicated to On the Couch with Dr. Diamond. Thank you so much for joining us on the couch today. Have a wonderful, full, and fabulous weekend, and have a prosperous week coming up. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you in about 2 weeks. See you then. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining On the Couch this evening. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and if you want to contact Dr. Diamond, you may reach her at candidconversations.dr.d@gmail.com. Have a great evening, and we will see you on the next show.